For too long now, we've been fed the surface-only shallow, hollow beauty myth. Scroll through any social feed and you see it. The Instagram face, internet face, all airbrushed symmetry, pouty pumped lips, and poreless skin. The cosmetic industry's annual multi-billion-dollar revenues depend on convincing us that beauty is something you can buy in a jar or sculpt with a laser. Every week there's a new serum, a new contour trick, a new filter, and an unspoken promise that if you just fix enough of your flaws, you'll finally be beautiful. It's nonsense, of course. The more you chase that ever-shifting standard of perfection, the more it slips away. We've all seen the cautionary tales. The aging starlet who overfilled and overfiltered herself into a lifeless mask. The friend obsessed with looking forever 21 who lost the spark that made her, her. Toss out the lie that beauty is only skin deep. True beauty runs far beneath the skin, and it bubbles up to the surface when you least force it. Now picture her. She isn't the prettiest woman in the room. Perhaps her nose is a little crooked. Her makeup is subtle and non-trendy. And yet, when she glides in, conversations trail off mid-sentence. Head stern not in appraisal of her fashionable outfit, but in response to the quiet charge she carries. There's a stillness about her that somehow commands the air. Her laughter, low and unforced, vibrates with confidence. Strangers feel it before they consciously see her. By the time she leaves, you catch yourself thinking, she's beautiful. Not pretty, maybe. Beautiful in a way that lingers. What's her secret? I promise to decode it. And stay tuned for some practical blueprint tips at the end to bring that magic into your own routine.
Welcome. I'm Kira, and this is your beauty blueprint.
If you only have 30 seconds, here's the bottom line. Beauty isn't about perfect noses or expensive creams. Beauty is an inside job. I say, make your daily self-care a true ritual, much like a prayer. Live with kindness and confidence. Stand tall and let your energy do the talking. When you align who you are with how you care for yourself, beauty becomes a natural consequence. But if you'd like a fuller explanation, grab a cup of jasmine tea or a square of dark chocolate, settle in, and let's go much deeper. How can someone who isn't conventionally good looking mesmerize a whole room? Why do we even say beauty radiates from within? Let's unveil 5 spiritual secrets that truly set a woman's beauty apart. Now, let's get right to it. The secret blueprint for a beauty that can't be bottled. Secret 1. Ritual over routine. Beauty is a sacred practice. Most of us have a morning routine. Wash face, slap on moisturizer, maybe mascara if we're feeling fancy. It's perfunctory, rushed, a chore squeezed in before the commute. The first secret is flipping that script, turning routine into ritual. Think of it as a long overdue prayer to beauty. Treat your vanity like an altar and your lotions and potions like holy water. Light a candle as you get ready. Breathe in the scent of your serum before you smooth it on. In fact, even modern sciencey types note that when women approach beauty as self-care, the morning skincare ritual can become meditation. A moment of grounding instead of a scramble, and ancient cultures understood this well. In ancient Egypt, beauty rituals were suffused with spiritual meaning. Egyptians saw makeup not as vanity, but as an offering. Applying kohl eyeliner or scented oils was an honor to their gods and goddesses, woven into temple life and prayer. Ancient Greek women anointed themselves with sacred olive oil to protect their skin. The wild olive tree was literally considered holy. To anoint your body was to show reverence for the divine spark within it. Now fast forward to today's bathroom. What if applying your night cream felt like a rite of self-anointing, not a desperate fight against wrinkles? Framing beauty rituals this way does something powerful. It shifts your energy. Instead of thinking, "Ugh, I have to fix my face," you think, "I get to adorn and nurture myself." It's transformative. Even putting on perfume can be an act of setting your intention for the day. And speaking of perfume, never underestimate the magic of scent. One legend says Cleopatra perfumed herself so lavishly that Mark Antony could smell her coming from miles away. Her ship's sails were so perfumed that the winds were lovesick with them, as Shakespeare wrote. That's literal glamour, in the old sense of the word. Did you know glamour originally meant a spell of enchantment? In 18th century Scotland, glamour referred to a magic charm to bewilder the senses. Cleopatra clearly understood that scent could announce your presence like an aura, casting an almost supernatural allure. You don't need to soak your Uber driver's car in rose oil, please don't, but consider how a signature scent can become your invisible calling card, a personal spell. Dab it on with intention. A favorite fragrance in your hair or scarf can leave a trailing memory of you in a room long after you've gone. Make this a ritual, not routine. A tiny spritz before any meeting, a moment taken to inhale and center yourself as the notes bloom. It's an internal shift as much as an external embellishment. When you treat beauty as a ritual, you stop performing for others and start communing with yourself. And paradoxically, that's far more enthralling to everyone else. We've now seen how a ritual can turn getting ready into spell work. But can something as mundane as standing up straight actually change how beautiful you look? Let me surprise you. Secret 2. Posture is metaphysical architecture. Imagine a woman entering a party with her shoulders back and head high, eyes scanning the room calmly. Now imagine the same woman slouched, arms clutched nervously around her midriff. A rather different vibe, isn't it? How you carry your body directly shapes the perception of your beauty. A tall, open posture doesn't just make your mother happy, it changes the geometry of your face as well as the energy you project. A proud spine is like an internal scaffolding that lifts everything. Your stance, your gaze, even the muscles of your face. It's metaphysical architecture, building beauty from the ground up, or rather, the spine up. There's science to back this up. In one experiment, speed daters were shown photos of potential partners posed in various stances. They overwhelmingly chose those who sat or stood in expansive postures, arms spread or upright, over those who were hunched or closed off. An open stance wordlessly telegraphs confidence and vitality. Sar's contracted one whispers insecurity. We respond to that before we even realize it. Researchers note that expansive body language makes a person appear more dominant and romantically appealing, even at zero acquaintance. In plainer terms, stand tall and people are more likely to find you attractive at first glance. It's really as simple as that. What's more, posture isn't only about looking confident to others. It's also about the very real mind-body loop inside you. Straightening your back can actually make you feel more confident, thank your neurochemistry. What's clear is that poor posture can and will mess with your physiology. Hunch over your phone for an hour, and you might notice your jaw drooping slightly or your mood dipping. One neurologically savvy chiropractor explains that when your chin tucks and airway compresses, as it does when doom scrolling, the brain signals a low-grade fight or flight response that often manifests as tension in areas like the jaw, face, and neck. In other words, slumped posture and screen focus can literally make your face clenched and stressed without you realizing it. Over time, that can etch lines of worry or exhaustion on your features. So the secret here is twofold. Open your body and you'll open your expression. Try this hack. Before your next big date or event, do a 30-minute spiritual hygiene cleanse for your face. No, not a new exfoliant. Just put your phone in a drawer. Let your eyes go soft focus. Roll your shoulders back. Breathe deeply. You'll feel your jaw start to unclench on its own. The micro-relaxation in your facial muscles will literally make your skin look smoother and more alive. Go ahead, do a split test. Spend half an hour doom scrolling on a given morning, and the next day spend half an hour stretching and deep breathing instead. Then check the mirror. The difference might shock you. By standing taller and releasing tension, you're not faking beauty or confidence. You're summoning it from within. Secret 3. Moral beauty is visible. We've all met someone whose smile warms a room. Not because their teeth are perfect, but because there's genuine warmth behind it. Conversely, we've all met those impeccably groomed, symmetrical featured folks who somehow come off as, well, repulsive once they open their mouths. It's not just in our heads. There is growing evidence that moral virtues, kindness, generosity, warmth, literally makes people appear more physically attractive to others. In a 2024 study published in the British Journal of Social Psychology, over 4,000 participants consistently rated people described as kind or helpful as better looking than those who weren't, even when shown the same photo with different backstories. The researchers concluded that acts of kindness and generosity can also enhance how attractive someone appears. Positive behavior adds a unique layer of attractiveness that transcends outward appearance. This effect was so strong it trumped other positive traits like wit or intelligence in boosting perceived beauty. It seems we're hardwired to see goodness as a kind of glamour. Beautiful acts literally lead us to see people as more beautiful. Think about what that means. If you want a radiant glow, no highlighter on earth beats the glow of a clear conscience. Compassion is an inner light that tends to show up as a twinkle in the eye, a softness in the face, an ineffable something. People might not identify it outright. Gee, your facial symmetry improved since you started volunteering, said no one ever, but they feel it. In fact, psychologists note that many of the most attractive personal traits are invisible. Kindness, respect, empathy, all those inner virtues that manifest outwardly over time. A life of kindness will literally etch laugh lines instead of frown lines on you. Altruism even has a subtle posture of its own. You tend to face people fully, engage with warmth, maybe tilt your head in that universal gesture of empathy. Those micro-cues are magnetic, and the opposite is true. Meanness and bitterness have a way of carving themselves into our features as we age. The pinched mouth of someone who scowls at the world eventually stays pinched. Even minor physical imperfections become irrelevant when someone is lovely in spirit. One remarkable detail from that kindness study. When participants thought someone was generous, they became far more forgiving of any scars or blemishes, hardly noticing them. Kindness truly camouflages imperfections in the best way. So the secret here is simple. Cultivate a beautiful heart. It sounds airy-fairy, but each kind act is like polishing an inner mirror. Over time, your face reflects a warmer light. Glow is not just a skincare term. People around you will see it, whether they consciously realize it or not. Secret 4. The energetic signature. Aura is the new hot. Have you ever heard the saying, her energy walks in before she does? In the age of TikTok and manifesting jargon, they call it main character energy. It sounds like fluff until you witness it in action. That person who isn't conventionally attractive at all, but they have a presence that fills the space. You can't put your finger on why you're drawn to them. This secret is perhaps the most mystical sounding, but also the most vital. The real impactful beauty is less about perfection and more about frequency. By frequency, I mean the vibe someone emits, their emotional resonances, confidence, and authenticity that others can instantly feel. We're stepping beyond the material now into the almost spiritual. Some might even use the word aura, the invisible field of something that surrounds each of us. When it's murky or chaotic, think anxious, self-doubting, angry, people sense that, consciously or not, and tend to shy away. When it's bright and coherent, self-possessed, positive, loving, it's incredibly attractive. Charisma, after all, is often defined as an almost supernatural allure. What's going on under the hood? You can think of it in psychological terms. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, you emanate integrity and confidence. That is rare and very magnetic. Most of us are walking around a little bit fractured, saying things we don't mean, smiling when we're sad, generally out of sync. But someone who's achieved a degree of inner coherence has a kind of force field. It puts others at ease, or sparks curiosity, or simply commands respect without a word. Some researchers have explored this in bits and pieces, like how high self-esteem or authenticity can directly change your voice and micro-expressions, sending signals of attractiveness. But even without scientific dissection, we all intuitively get it. Think of the people in your life who draw you in. What do they have? Maybe it's passion. They speak about any topic, their hobby or a favorite book, with a sparkle, and you find yourself enchanted. Maybe it's calm. The way they listen so attentively makes you feel seen, and suddenly you're calling them beautiful. Or maybe it's joy, that friend who dances like an idiot but is having the time of her life. And in that moment, she's the most beautiful woman on earth. It's soul-level charisma. In contrast, if you're trying to be something you're not, chasing someone else's idea of hot or cool, your energy will always read as a bit off, a bit dimmed. Ever meet a person who's clearly faking an accent or a personality? No matter how objectively attractive they might be, something will unavoidably feel off. Even the beauty industry is seeing this shift. Products are marketed now for the energy they imbue. Notice the surge in terms like radiance, glow, vibe. It all points to the same truth. How you feel in a room ultimately matters more than how technically perfect your face is. If you cultivate a positive, self-assured energy, that energetic signature announces you before you speak. People will say, I don't know, she just has this aura. That is real beauty in action, on a wavelength that eyes alone can't see. So far, we've put together quite the beauty blueprint: ritual, posture, kindness, energy. But perhaps the most counterintuitive secret is still ahead. What if not trying to be beautiful is the very thing that makes you so? Our final secret is what ties it all together. Secret 5. Beauty as a consequence, not a goal. Here's the ultimate paradox. The loveliest people are most often the ones not trying to impress. They're not ones to pick on reflections in the mirror. Beauty sneaks up on them as a byproduct of living well. Meanwhile, the more desperately someone pursues attractiveness, the more it eludes them. We only need to think of the socialite who, terrified of aging, piles on cosmetic procedure after procedure until her face is a frozen caricature of her old self. Or worse yet, no longer resembling her original self at all. She tried so hard to be beautiful that she's crossed into something tragicomic. Or the girl who spends the entire party fussing with her hair and reapplying lipstick. She looks increasingly anxious, not prettier. In contrast, picture a woman in her 50s who has laugh lines and eyes that crinkle warmly because she's spent a lifetime smiling at the people she loves. She's not trying to look 30. She looks her age with grace and humor. Her beauty stops you in your tracks. As the saying goes, elegance is refusal, knowing what to say no to. And sometimes you must say no to the relentless pressure to perfect yourself. The secret is about letting go. Let go of the people-pleaser smile that you wear to seem nice. It only drains you and comes off as forced and unpleasant. Let your face relax into its true, sovereign expression. Having healthy boundaries, the ability to say, no, I won't contort myself to please you, actually beautifies. Why? Because a woman with boundaries carries an aura of self-respect. She doesn't plaster on a fake grin. Her resting face might be serious, soft, or whatever is true for her, and that authenticity reads as confidence, not coldness. When you stop trying to charm everyone, you may shockingly find that the right people are charmed anyway, drawn ever more, in fact. Similarly, please let go of the frantic chase for approval. Ever notice that when you're having a blast, fully engaged in the moment, someone invariably tells you you're glowing? Joy makes you forget to be self-conscious. You become beauty instead of performing it. In practical terms, this secret might mean rethinking why you engage in beauty practices. Do it as an offering to yourself, not a plea for validation. One woman might wear red lipstick as part of her personal power ritual. She loves how it makes her feel like a 40s film star. Another woman might wear the same exact red lipstick because she's scared her boyfriend will find her plain without it. The first is using glamour as spell work, not to manipulate others, but to tap into a chosen state for herself. It's the subtle difference between anointing yourself versus camouflaging yourself. The second is treating beauty as a means to an end, and when that end, external approval, isn't met, it leads to ugly bitterness. The ethos of spiritualized beauty is that you nurture yourself for you and let the chips fall where they may. Dress up because it's fun, or go barefaced because you feel like it. Both can be beautiful when done with intention, ease, and self-assurance. There's a quiet confidence in not needing to chase beauty. Instead, you let it follow you around, and follow it does. Like a butterfly that lands on your shoulder when you're busy tending your life, oblivious to whether you have mascara on. In the end, the real beauty blueprint means seeing beauty not as a goal to frantically achieve, but as a graceful side effect of a life well lived and self well loved. As our culture slowly wakes up from the Instagram spell of plastic perfection, a new legacy is forming. One where a woman's true presence matters more than her perfection, where glamour means deep enchantment and not just glitter, and where beauty is something you are first and appear second. That's a legacy worth celebrating, and it's yours for the making. So take these secrets and craft your own beauty blueprint. The next time you step into a room, chin up and heart open, don't be surprised when people can't take their eyes off the glow radiating from you.